Yo, how's everybody doing today? My name's Spesh, and in today's video we're going to be going over my first ever encounter with Molly. Now, before we get into this video, I have to say that this is just for educational, documentary and educational purposes only. Like, I do not recommend anybody out there goes and does any of the things that I do in my stories. They are very stupid things, but they do make amazing stories. And to be honest, I do highly regret a lot of the stuff that I've done. Probably, maybe not my first time taking Molly is one of them, but what that led to after, it probably makes me regret my first time taking Molly, right? But anyway, so without further ado, let's just get straight into the video. So this happens, I want to say, around the start of year 11 to the end of year 10 in a high school. So I would have been about 15, 16 years old at this point, and I just broke up with my girlfriend at the time, and me and my girlfriend had been together for a very long time, right? Well, very long time at this stage in my life. It was only about a year, just over a year, maybe even actually coming on to 2 years now. I can't really remember. I've done too many like drugs or smoked too much weed since then. My memory's a bit fuzzy, but yeah, so it was around that time in my life, and I wasn't really feeling too good. I was smoking a lot of weed. I'd taken on actually like selling weed just to, not even to sell weed to get the money to smoke it. No, it wasn't even to sell weed to get the money to buy stuff. It was just to sell weed to get the money to buy more weed and smoke more weed. So yeah, I was at a very like destructive place in my life, and none of this would have probably happened if my mental health wasn't as bad as it was back then, but hey, it is what it is, I guess, at the end of the day, ain't it? So this story actually takes place the day after my first ever time trying LSD, and so I remember how this went. Basically, the day before I went up to my mates. I'm not going to go too much into detail because I want this to be a different story on the channel, but I went up to my mates, and I brought up with me a tab and a pill of MDMA to try at his gaff, because obviously I didn't want to try it at my mum's, because my mum was if she saw me up there tripping bollocks, then she gonna slap me around the face with a slipper. But yeah, so this story takes place the day after that day, and on that day I bought obviously an acid tab and a Molly pill, and yeah, so I go back to the park after this day tripping absolute bollocks, and I still have the MDMA pill because obviously I didn't take it because I was thinking about taking them both in one, because I didn't really do any research, didn't know how stupid that was going to be, and everyone told me not to do it because it was stupid, so I just listened to the majority of people. But yeah, so when I got to the park, I asked my mate, I was like, yo, what would happen if like you took Molly after doing a tab like the day before? And he was like, bro, you would seizure out. He looked me dead in the eyes and said, bro, you would have a seizure, you would seizure out. And this girl looked at him and was like, no the hell you would not, like you're not going to seizure out from that. He was like, nah, my mate did it, he seizured out. But it comes to it that this guy, he would make up a few stories here and there just to like try and seem more relevant, I guess. But yeah, so he was telling me I would seizure out. Obviously I asked a few more people, they were like, nah, you'll be fine, just like probably only take half, especially because it's your first time as well. And these pills, they were like pink Red Bulls, so they were like a pink oval pill, and then they had like a picture of a Red Bull symbol on it. I don't know if they were fake, if they were real or not. Obviously I didn't test them at the time. All I know is they got me obliterated, right? So yeah, I snapped this pill in half, and I'm looking around like, who would want to take this other half of a pill with me? Like, I'm not too sure who would take it. I'm like, do you want to take it? They're like, nah, I'm good, like, not today, I'm not really feeling it. I turned to this other guy, I'm like, do you want to try it? And he's like, nah, I'm good, I did it like last week, I don't really want to do it again this week. And then I turned to this guy, and this guy, I'm going to use his actual nickname because it's his nickname, you're never going to be able to find him off of his nickname, but his name was Trixie, right? And that's his nickname, yeah, it's not his birth name, don't worry. But I turned to him and I was like, would you want to try this? And he was like, what is it? And I was like, well, basically I was going to do the whole thing, but I've been told it's a bit dangerous to do the whole thing because I did acid yesterday. But there's two tabs here, and two halves of a pill here and here. One's MDMA, and like they're both MDMA, right? And he was like, oh, actually, you know what, I'm good because I've got half a tab of acid with me, still from last night, because he was also at the place where we were doing acid the day before. So he pops half a tab of acid, but he didn't do acid the night before, right? So this was like his first time tripping on acid ever as well, and my first time was obviously that night before. So yeah, he goes no, but he will be there with me like whilst I'm doing it, because I'll like trip sit in whilst I'm on it, if I'm functionable enough to trip sit in whilst I'm on it. And he's like, alright, cool, that sounds all cushy, like that's chilling. So then I'm looking around, I'm like, who the hell would want to take like this other half of a pill with me? And it gets to the point where I'm just like, fuck it, you know what? And I put the half pill in my mouth, and I drink my drink, and I just swallow the pill like that, and I'm just sat there really nervously waiting around, sat there, like, we're at the skate park, right, and in front of the skate park there was like a little ball court, and I was sat like leaning against the half pipe at the back of it, which looks at the ball court, and it was just where me and all my mates were sat, because there was a bit of shade there and it was really hot. And yeah, this other guy comes around the corner, and I hear him talking about MDMA, and I look up at him and I'm like, bro, do you want to take this other half, because I've been told I can't take it because obviously I did acid the night before. And he's like, yeah, like no hesitation, he's like, yeah, go on, I'll do it. It was fucking amazing. Like I rubbed one off my uncle or something like that before, and it was amazing. I don't know how the hell he's managed to rub one off of his uncle, but hey, apparently he did. So obviously I give him this other half of a pill, he takes it, pops it, and then we're just sat there together with our skateboards just waiting for this pill to kick in. And it takes a while, bro, to the point where I'm sat there like, I don't think this pill was legit, or maybe Molly just can't affect me at all. And then as soon as, around the time even that I'm thinking this stuff, so about maybe like half an hour, 40 minutes in, I start feeling like this weird tingling feeling in my cheeks, and like my breath starts feeling like it's getting really, really light, and then all of a sudden it just starts going like down my neck into my chest, and my chest feels really light. And then there's like this feeling of like, the only way I can describe it is, you know when you get in a bath and it's like that tingling feeling when the temperature's the perfect temperature. It was like that going all down my back, giving me chills. And it was almost like I could feel my eyes were dilating, like I could feel the love going into my body. Like it's weird, I could feel like the energy of this pill just like producing all this like serotonin and whatever the hell else it produces in my body. And it was such an uplifting experience. Like I literally sort of felt it, like I was being lifted up, like I was levitating. But obviously I wasn't, my feet were still firmly on the ground. If I was levitating, then I'd probably be locked away with the X-Men or something right now. But yeah, so obviously after we've took it and it starts hitting us, we're like, oh my god, Trixie's on like an acid tab. So, and obviously acid was like a lot worse. It was like, it wasn't worse feeling wise, but it was worse as in you felt more like a retard. You didn't, on acid you don't really know what you're doing as much. It's hard to think, like you can't really think on acid, you just sort of do. But then on MDMA obviously you can still think and stuff like that. Bear in mind your judgment might be obscured, because it's obviously you're just feeling really fucking happy, really lovey-dovey and shit. And yeah. Yeah, so we're like, oh shit, Trixie's took a tab, where the hell's, like, and then we're looking around for him, and we're like, where the hell's this guy gone? And we're asking people, we're like, yo, where did Trixie go? Where's Trixie gone? They're like, why? I'm like, well, we just want to know where he's gone. Obviously, we didn't want to tell everyone he was on acid in case people decided to take the mick or whatever at the skate park, but we were like trying to find him, and we couldn't find him anywhere. And then all of a sudden, like, I just hear one of my mates go, oh, you looking for Trixie? I'm like, yeah. He's like, he went down that way, and then like points down this really long path down the side of the park that goes to like the main road and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't really know if it's a good idea for this guy to be near the road whilst he's tripping. Obviously I didn't know what sort of trip he was having or anything like that, and I just walked up to him, And I remember him saying, it was like, he said I walked all the way down that path, right, and he was just there, literally walking around in circles on the field. And I walked up to him, I was like, bro, are you good? And he was like, yeah, but my brain just feels like it's buzzing. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, it just feels like, you know, like a mushy pea. I was sat there like, yeah, you know what, I get exactly what you mean from my experience last night. It does feel a bit like a mushy pea, doesn't it, Tricks? And then the guy who I took the half with, he starts walking down here as well. I'm going to call him Tyrone, innit? So he just started walking down there. He's a white boy, by the way. His name's not Tyrone either. But he started walking down and he found us. And he was just coming in to make sure, obviously, Tricks was alright and stuff. And then we ended up just going back to the park and riding around on our skateboards and stuff like that. Bro, the amount of confidence that like MDMA gives you is stupid. Like, honestly, I'd only just started skating around this point as well. I couldn't drop in for crap. This day is the day that I first ever did like a proper drop in on a skateboard down the medium-sized quarter pipe at this skate park. And bro, it was the most accomplishing thing I'd ever felt, especially because of all the serotonin and stuff that was going through my body. It just amplified it by like a million. But yeah, right, so that was pretty much it for this experience. I ended up going home. No, right, so all three of us who were fucked ended up like sort of going home together. And then we got to like this corner, right, and we just sat there staring at these like traffic lights and this what's it called, like you know, on a pharmacy, how sometimes out of the front in the UK they'll have like the neon plus sign that like will change to like different things. We were just staring at that, and obviously Trixie tripping, and then us two pinging. We were like, yo, this stuff looks absolutely amazing, like it looks bloody beautiful. And we was just staring, like honestly, I'm not gonna lie, we're staring at these traffic lights for like 15 minutes, just stood on the corner of the road. And then I ended up going home after this. Somehow my mum did not catch me on these pills, right? But I mean, it was just sort of normal for me anyway at this point to just walk in and go straight upstairs and go to bed, because I would always just like walk in and be high and stuff like that, and probably end up getting a load of food and then going upstairs and going to bed. But this time what I remember doing is I walked in the house, right? I went straight into the bathroom and just hopped in the bath, because I just wanted that like feeling, that was like that whole tingling feeling to get worse again. And it didn't really do much. Obviously when I first got in the bath, it was like, oh my god, this is amazing. I put some music on, I was vibing to music as well, get a bit of Juice WRLD going, get a bit of Sleepy Hollow going, you know how it is back then. Maybe a little bit of like Post Malone and Polo G as well, you know, that they were all the music types that we listened to at the skate park. Maybe even a bit of Mr. Traumatic, you know, a bit of Brucey, chucked that all on. And yeah, in all fairness, it was a pretty chilling night. As I said, I would not recommend doing this though to anyone, because the addiction is real. Although with MDMA, right, there's not a physical addiction, there is a mental addiction, as you can tell by like obviously the feeling of the mad love and stuff like that. Some people, they will feel that and they'll never want to let that go. But it's not like cocaine though, whereas cocaine, it's like if you take too much of it, your body sort of depends on it to function. But with MDMA, it doesn't. It's if you take too much MDMA, then you're probably going to fry your serotonin receptors in your brain, maybe never feel happy again. It might turn you into a bit of a sociopath even. And yeah, like it's just not very healthy to be taking it a lot. Like honestly, I've been there before. I've got to the point where I had started getting like a psychosis and stuff like that from the amount of MDMA, and I was taking a lot of other drugs as well, but I blame it mainly on the MDMA because that was the main drug that I was taking. And yeah, it wasn't nice. It was a very long time of just paranoia and feeling like even my family and like my closest mates, I honestly had thoughts in my head that for whatever miscellaneous reason, right, they were trying to set me up and get me like beheaded or something. Like they just wanted me dead for no reason. But yeah, I'm gonna leave this video here, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave your first time doing Molly experiences down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. If you liked it, make sure you leave a like, and if you want to see more, make sure you subscribe. Peace out.